Hi guys, welcome to our channel. It's called Imeweza. With me I have my guest over here. This is George Ahere, co-founder of Weza Interactive Entertainment.
What's up?
I'm also a co-founder of Weza Interactive Entertainment, and for this episode we shall be talking about the company Weza Interactive, our history, who we are, why we decided to form this company, how far we are, our goals, and what is next for the future. Where do we want to be? Where are we going? So thank you for joining us. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be really interactive because of Weza Interactive Entertainment. So let's go. So George, Weza Interactive Entertainment.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Why did you even get that? Where does that name come from?
The name itself had a long journey, and we took quite a while, if you remember, just picking a name that made sense to us according to our goals and what we wanted to do when we were making a company. Just to give you a bit of history, I guess everyone watching a bit of history, we always wanted to start a company. I was always in gaming, I was interested in gaming, and I wanted to make a gaming company, but a gaming company that could do more, that could create impact, that could impact the lives of people. Because I've always asked myself, yes, I want to do gaming, but how will that affect people around me, my community, my family, my friends? How can I improve their lives?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we started having that conversation and really thinking about what do we want our company to do. And that's why Weza made sense, because I think we believed in empowering people. We believed in empowering people and helping them unlock their true potential. That's what I believe it is. And yeah, at Weza, what we realized is we were just a group of people that really believed in the potential of Africa. Mm-hmm. At its core, that's what we are. Even without being a company or doing a business, at the beginning, at the end of the day, we're just a group of people that believe in awakening the potential of Africa, or the potential of African people. And whether that with stories, with entertainment, with education, with any interactive media that we can to achieve that goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I love it. Just to give a bit of background, just to know who you are, where this inspiration came from, even to form a company, a gaming studio.
Yeah.
So, tell us a bit about yourself, and I'll also share about myself, but let's start with you.
Okay, sure. I don't know where to begin. I was born in 1993, October 14th. I don't know if that is necessary information, but yeah. I think the first time when I really decided what I wanted to do, because I think that's what's the most relevant to this podcast, is when I think I was a kid. Yeah, I was a kid. I was around 6 years old, and 6 to 8, I'm not really sure, but I was playing, I think it was a PS1 at the time, and I used to play all day, and my mom used to be really worried that I'd end up being a very introverted child and not have friends and anything. And she said this one thing once: what if you're doing this at school? If you're doing this at school, you'd excel, you'd pass all day. And I started thinking to myself, that was the first time I started thinking, what if this is what I was doing? And I began researching it slowly, what does it to be a game developer? I realized that the industry was so big. There are artists, there are designers, there's guys that do business, there's guys that do law. And that's really where my journey began, as I'd say, as at least a person who wanted to be in the gaming industry. And as I grew older, I kept on researching and sort of focusing a lot more on that idea and trying to see if it was possible. And honestly, it was very hard, because a lot of people I talked to told me it was honestly a big dream, because there wasn't any gaming industry in Kenya, not only and also not in Africa as well. So it was pretty hard at the beginning, convincing myself and everybody around me that this is something worth doing. But sometimes perseverance is key, and also we had also really supportive parents. I'd say a really supportive mother, and she was like, if you want to really do this, I'll help you find a school that will take you as close as you can. Then it's all up to you to see if you can reach that goal. So I give thanks to her for sure, because she did really push us to get here. So that's a bit of my background. Educationally, I did software engineering as my bachelor's degree. I couldn't do gaming at the time because honestly, the schools are very expensive. Mm-hmm. But software engineering was as close as I could get to learning about what it takes to make an application. And with that, I could just apply those same skills to game development. I also recently finished a master's degree in game development and research. I feel like it's where I really learned what it takes to be a game developer, but almost in a theoretical sense, in an academic sense, and also in an artistic sense. And through our journey at Imeweza, I learned almost as a business sense. How do you make games but make a living out of them? But yeah, that's before I continue rambling.
Okay, thank you about that. I think one thing to mention is we are actually brothers. We are twin brothers.
18.
So when he talks about him playing PlayStation and video games when you're young, I was also there. He was more of the player. I just loved to watch. I loved watching the storytelling in gaming, and I just found it very interactive. I love art. We used to participate in a lot of artistic initiatives when you're younger, dancing, acting, singing, just anything that would put us on stage and we could explore our creativity. So I think from here we can actually tell you how it started. So personally, I'm a lawyer. I got trained as a lawyer at Strathmore University. I'm recently admitted advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And yeah, that's me. I love art. I love empowerment. And that's where we aligned with George. And I think George can tell us a bit more of how we started. Yeah.
Yeah. For the company itself, I'd say the initial ideas was around 2016. Yeah. And this is just, I guess, my final year of university. At the time, I would make games for fun. And mainly just to learn. So I'd start a project, make it, finish it, learn something, move on to the next thing. Until we made, I guess this was like the very first early prototype of our first game. It's called Imeweza. And at the time it was very rough, didn't have much in it, but I was showing off to a lot of people. And initially my plan was never to launch the game or put it up anywhere. But I got home, I remember I just graduated, came back home in 2016, and I started discussing with my brother, like, I started showing them the game, and that discussion started popping up, like, we should actually start pushing this. Let's start a company. Let's see where this thing can actually go. And I think we started discussing that at the time, like, what's our company about? I think that I've really touched on already. What is our goal at the time? What do we want to do? There are so many questions you have to answer when you're making a company, and some of them weren't even really ready for. I think none of us were prepared at the moment for what it took to really run a company. But at the same time, that was really what we wanted to do. I think we were driven. We had a lot of passion to really achieve the goals of empowering people. But yeah, also at the same time, I feel like I was really connecting with African culture and Kenyan culture and really understanding what that means. And because of that, it really seeped into the game and what Imeweza really meant. So if Jamie and James can tell you that what we were making in the game was almost the journey we were going through as people at the same time. So we were really discovering, what does it mean to be African? What does that culture mean? What even does the word African mean? And even as a company, we're saying we want to make African games. But what's an African game? Can you define in a sentence what is African? It's very impossible. Nobody can really tell you. But as a company, we sat down, me and James, and we sat down and let's define it for ourselves. Let's have that idea for ourselves. So that was the journey at the very beginning. Understanding what we want to go with the company, and also understanding ourselves as Africans and what does it take for an African to unlock his true potential. Yeah, that was really the two core things that really pushed us at the very beginning. So this was 2016. We actually started participating for a lot of competitions. One of them was called the French Tech Ticket that we got through iHub. I think that's one of the things that accelerated us the fastest, because they were able to zone us into, okay, these are the things that you're going to need to really define and really understand as a founder or as a CEO or as a CFO and all those different things. We were lucky enough to be one of the winners in 2016. And the next 2 years after that, we got to develop our first product, but also really understand everything that it took to make a game. And we were really young at the time. I think James can explain. We didn't know half of what we were doing, but at Imeweza, we believe by trial by fire. You just go in it and you do it, and you figure it out as you do it. So yeah. That was like the beginning of the process. So 2016 was our big year. It was a lot of philosophy, I feel like, a lot of understanding, what do I want? What do I want to share with the world? What do I want to create? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? A lot of questions like those, and also understanding yourself, I believe. It was a personal journey and like a group journey, because you're doing with the company. and that all sipped into the products, into the company, and into our philosophy as a company at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to add on top of that, like it was like we were thrust into greatness, because George had started. I would say between 2015 and 2016 is when he had started, creating Mzito, coding, the development, even the art. He has this notebook with stick figures with this boy and girl with big afros, and they're just stick figures. But if you look at the game right now, it looks really amazing. It's on the Play Store. You can download it. But yeah, it was like trial by fire. In the beginning, George had just cleared university. I was in my 4th year, and so as he mentioned, there was this incubation program that we applied to. They flew to France. So that was George and our other co-founder called Joshua. So they went, I stayed, but in the 2 years that they were in France, like, we learned a lot. We went for conventions, we learned about fundraising, managing a business, and it was really intense. And that's something I would want to highlight. What lessons have you learned being an entrepreneur, running a company, building a business?
Maybe number one is it's not for everyone. Entrepreneurship needs to be a struggle you choose, not a struggle you just do, or because you want to make money. It has to be, yes, you want to make money, of course, it is a driving purpose, but it's struggle. It's going to take your time, it's going to take your patience, it's going to take your energy, and it needs to be something you really, really are driven to do. And it's not for everyone. That's something that I feel like is really important to highlight at the very beginning, because we all choose our struggles. So entrepreneurship needs to be a struggle you willingly wake up and you choose. I'm not going to talk about all the lessons because I think we'll be here all day. I'll talk about maybe the main ones about starting a company. 2, don't be too afraid. Most of these things you can actually learn by doing. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, but you need to be able to fail fast. If you're fail haraka, you know what you're doing and you move on again. And that's what really helped us at the beginning, because we were an incubator full of so many startups who are all in like the gaming and entertainment space. And we were like the complete underdogs who almost didn't know what they were doing. So we were surrounded by such amazing people. I remember the incubator making amazing experiences, amazing games, extremely talented, knew about fundraising and all these different things. So most times when you're pitching, when you're in a meeting, you feel like you don't know anything. And that was fine because everything you were doing, you were learning. So that's another point. Be willing and ready to learn, and learn also fast. So, make sure it's something you want to do. It has to be a struggle that you want to choose. That says number 1. 2, it's a trial by fire. You're going to fail a lot. That is fine. Fail fast. 2, get ready to learn, and learn from everybody you meet, everybody you can talk to. But yeah, be ready to learn from everybody you talk to, because that's what really accelerated us the most, I believe. Understanding what it takes to make a game, and everything else. And also, drive your passion. Picture what you want to be. Picture your vision. Picture your goals. Become insanely obsessed with that idea, and understand what it will take to actually, get there or get to where you want to be. I think that's what helped us at the very beginning, because when we got to France, we realized how big the gaming industry is and how we are just a drop in the ocean in all of that. But after seeing all that, you start believing that what we're doing matters and our industry is so big. You start imagine bringing all this back to Africa, bringing all this back to Kenya, back to Nairobi, back to, where we come from, how many jobs we could create, how many stories we could tell. Imagine we start thinking about, even historically, this will be the first time African culture will be like part and parcel of the interactive space. So you'll be making history. So there was a lot that was hard and intense, but like I said, choose it because you want to do it. Fail fast, learn fast, and be obsessed with what you want to do. Know it, feel it, smell it. Like you have to be able to picture it in your head, like you can see it in front of you, like you can touch it almost. Like you can see your company, you can see your boardroom, you can see your workmates, you can tell how your office is going to look like. You really, really, really know what that feels like and what that sense is like, and now start making goals, and then start making actions towards reaching those things. But yeah, that's really the most I can say about that.
I love what you've said. I just want to highlight a bit about gaming because we're a gaming studio. Talk about the industry. How big is it? What are you looking forward to? What have you learned? Talk about competitors, the games that are being created. What are you excited about? Because a lot of people don't actually realize that the gaming industry is really growing within Africa, and so many studios are creating amazing and creative games that are, you know, really impactful, and they're really telling our story. They're showing the beauty about Africa and, you know, just the identity of Africa and our self-expression. So yeah, tell us a bit more about gaming in Africa.
Yeah, I'll tell you about at least most of the history that I know, that I'm aware of. So, at least how I usually understand it is there was a generation before us, like our generation, and our generation, then the generation that came after. That's how I try to sort of picture it. The generation before us was, I think, around, the first time we started hearing about gaming in Africa was around 2007. This was the first earliest, and this was done by, I believe they're called Leti Arts. So it's, I believe, can't remember, I don't want to quote their names. We'll have in the description, we'll have like a few info for you to go and look at if you're interested. So they're from Leti Arts. I think one founder was from Kenya. I can't remember his name. And there's a founder from Ghana as well. And they were like one of the first people to really delve into the gaming space. And they'd made a couple of strides at the time, but I think timing wasn't really at the best for them at the time. And they didn't really get to really see how far gaming could go, but they did really make amazing strides. And I consider them the OGs of the gaming industry in Africa. But also South Africa as well. South Africa had a lot of strides in the gaming industry. They'd done a few things even a bit earlier than 2007. They had a bit of an industry, a bit of people talking about the gaming and stuff. And I think there's one game that they made. I can't remember the name right now, but like I said, we'll have a bit of more details in the description. That was really the first vestiges of the gaming industry at the time. And then fast forward to around 2013, Nigeria had a big boom. South Africa also had a big boom. They're making a lot of games. And we started seeing a lot of the first members of the industry. Also Tunisia was doing a lot of cool stuff. Morocco, a bit in Algeria as well, but not that much. Also Egypt had a bit of a scene. So we're seeing a lot of these things started cropping up. It was almost like it started spreading like wildfire. When one country started doing it, slowly it was popping up all over the country and all over the continent, and more people started getting into the gaming space. Now maybe checking out us. Now we got, at least I got into it like seriously around 2015, 2014. And even at the time, I think in Kenya there were maybe, I'd say 5 gaming companies at the time, maybe 5 or less. Some of them actually don't even exist anymore because I'm not gonna lie, the gaming industry is quite hard. It's like sometimes quite cutthroat. Like most of the industries or entertainment industries out there, it being entertainment and tech at the same time gives it the strengths of both, but sometimes the weaknesses of both at the same time. So yeah, around 2013, that's really when at least I got in, and that's why I call us the OGs. There's the OGs, and there's the OGs now, which is now our era. We were like the first guys to really start pushing for it as well, start talking about communities, start banding together, and this is the first company started making up. That was the first time you started hearing like about Nairobi X. I think that game, I think the first 3D game that was being made. A few years later after that, we made our game Zito. And then there's so many games like Mikan Games also came up. A few years later after that, Usiku Games came up. So right compared to then, like 2015 and now, there's so many more people who are in gaming or the gaming space right now. And it's likely going to be something really big industry in the future. Considering if you look at the data, the numbers of growth are amazing. Considering the experiences guys are coming up, the ideas guys are coming up with are really good. And it almost feels like we're going through like a kind of renaissance period, or our own renaissance. Maybe we need to give it its own name. But that's how I sort of see it, because it's the first time Africans are being able to like put their culture into their interactive space, their stories, their interpretations of life into that space, and create games and experiences about that. So it's growing vastly fast. A lot of people who are in the space, a lot of awesome creatives, artists, animators, designers, sound designers. I'm extremely excited, not only for our games, but the games of other developers out there who are making really cool games. We're gonna have like a list or like maybe websites in the description where you can actually just go look at if you're really keen on seeing, if you're really keen on playing African games or seeing what's happening in the space, or you're interested in even joining the space as well. There's there are communities right now, people you can talk to. I feel like us as the OGs have made enough mistakes that now we can show people that, okay guys, don't go this way, go this way. And there's a sense of community with it as well. We are all in this together because we all want a time when we can all earn from this industry, where we can all one day start getting awards for this stuff and go to the Game Awards and be like, a Kenyan won this or a Nigerian won this. That's just the same way like our music is doing extremely well. So yeah, the gaming industry is big, like it is very big. Gaming industry even right now is bigger than the film and the music industry put combined in terms of just revenue. So when I was in Germany, one of the things our teachers, our lecturers told us is this century is the century of the ludic century, or the century of gaming. So gaming is going to shape a lot of things. Even AI itself, funny enough, came from gaming. Without the gaming industry, you'd not have AI. If you go look back at its history a bit, I won't delve into that right now. And right now you're seeing AI giving back to games and everything else. But what I'll say, it's a big industry. Don't think that it's something for kids. It's an amazing storytelling tool. It's an amazing interactive tool. It can teach you so much if used the right way. And if you just give it a chance, I say. So it's a big industry. It's a big opportunity for anybody trying to get in. It's an amazing place to interact with people and create a really amazing experience with your team and with other creatives. So I'm looking forward to the collaborations, to the partnerships, to the content we're going to create. I think Africa is going to be and the fact that also we are the next billion gamers. Right? I like saying that a lot. The next billion gamers of the world are actually going to come from Africa. So we're not only going to just shape the market, we're going to shape the content, we're going to shape most of the spaces, we're going to shape the esports. Like, we are literally the future of the gaming industry. And that's why I'm just extremely excited for anybody who's trying to get in. So come through, everyone, please.
I love it. You heard it from him. We're the next billion gamers. We are just starting out, but there are a lot of participants in these industries. We got artists, we got 3D animators, 2D animators, sound engineers, designers, coders. And even right now, I know he has not yet mentioned it, but there are also schools coming up within Africa, like ADMI, that are teaching, game design and game development. And the community, I wouldn't even say just Kenya, but the whole African community are coming together. We have, I would say, like even partnerships, Pan-African partnerships. And I won't mention the names right now, but we can provide a link so you can be able to check them out. I don't know what's the name, the Pan-African group?
Yeah,
gaming
group, but maybe we're not getting that right. Like I said,
yes,
check the description.
Yeah, so like this, it's a group of different gaming studios from like over 7 countries within Africa who have come together to, build amazing games and also access diverse markets and also funding and, just do really and create really high quality AAA games and the like. And also the other startups, or let me say gaming studios, that are raising really big money, like 1 million USD. Just convert that into Kenya shillings, and even more than that. So it's a really viable market, and we're all working together. Yes, we're competing, and competition is good because we are all pushed to create amazing games, but we are all working to make a viable, business model for every studio. So if one studio figures it out, trust me, all studios will be happy about that, because now we'll be able to leverage on that advancement financially, and we can all make money and, just advancing the creative economy within Africa. So with that, I would like to close. I would like to thank George for his time. Thank you for letting us know about the history of Imeweza, entrepreneurship, the industry, the gaming industry in general. In the next episode, we're going to be highlighting about our products. We have a couple of products which are out. One is in development, and we'll also be talking about our brand and where we want to go generally with the products that we're making, the platforms that we're going to be on, and what we're focusing in 2023. Yeah, so one more thing. I wanted to ask George, what does 2023 mean for you? Like where is your headspace? Where is your mindset? And we can probably leave that to the audience and as they reflect on that, and then, yeah.
My headspace right now is, I've been saying this to everybody, I want to move fearlessly into 2023 and on. I feel like we've been, sometimes as Kenyans, as Africans, we are in a lot of spaces we are made to be humble, or we are put in the space we have to be humble, when we can give so much value to all the people around us, but even abroad or even globally, we sometimes see ourselves as the second or the third or the fifth, when we are actually the first, or even maybe the best. Or even if we're not the best, we're the hungriest. And that means that we should move confidently, we should move fearlessly into any discussion, any space, because we are capable of being leaders in that space. So for me, 2023 is about being fearless. It's about going for my goals and unhindered, without hesitation, and yeah, fearlessly. For me, 2023 is all about being fearless. To everybody out there, 2023, be fearless. Go for everything you want to go. Go confidently. Go unhindered. Do not hesitate. Those who hesitate never get what they want. And yeah, so for me, that is my goal. There's several other things that is in tuned to, but that is a general theme. That is a general vision for my 2023. And we hope to release a lot of awesome stuff. So keep your eye on the space. We'll be posting a lot of cool content, growing a community, and sharing with you what the Mzito brand is all about. But yeah, move fearlessly into 2023. And yeah, that's all me.
So as we close, ask yourself this question: what would I do if I was not fearful, if I was fearless in this situation? That's something actually George shared with me. In everything that we do, sometimes you're anxious about some exploits, some initiatives, or just anything, anxieties, fears, and that's the main limiting factor in doing whatever you want to do, achieving your goals and all. So if you were fearless, what would you do? And thank you for joining us. See you episode Imeweza. Hukuweza tunaweza.
Hukuweza tunaweza.
Tafadhali. Follow us in the next episode. It's going to be lit. Thank you.